Oko belly, day two, doing cardio. Let me tell you guys something. You guys asked me to learn how to get the Oko body, and I'm over here. I'm gonna say I would never thought I would ever be here on the treadmill ever in my life, burning fat, but here I am, just so that I can get abs, so that I can teach you guys how to get that Oko body. But I feel like walking here on a live is the only way I'm ever gonna get to the point where I do this. Is the only thing that motivates me is just to get abs ever. 'Cause I've been working out for over 10 years, dude. I never have had the inclination to ever do anything, ever do cardio, really. But I'm here now for you guys. I gotta tell you, man, every day I wake up and I look at the views and the comments in the comment section, yo, the people that are subscribed to this channel are legit hilarious, dude. Like people say like literally have me laughing out loud like at random times throughout the day. You know, it just makes me very excited to open up the YouTube app on my phone to read some of the comments that people leave because it's just good stuff. But I keep seeing this like recurring comment in the comment section talking about um like new players and teaching new players how to play Magic. And people keep talking about that is not like Voltron is gonna set up like bad habits for new players and that it's gonna hurt them from playing Magic the Gathering. And I feel like, I talked about this earlier when I was working out, and it's gonna be in a short, but I feel like, when you're teaching new players how to play Magic, I feel like what I do, at least in my brain, I think about it like in steps. Like every game that player plays when I'm around, I feel like there's always like a lesson or something that I want them to learn. When I go into the game, I'm like, all right, like this person's gonna learn this during this game. Like the first game, I feel like you're like, this is what a land is. This is what a creature is. This is what an enchantment is. This is when you cast spells. This is when you draw a card. Like super simple, basic stuff. Because if you're someone that's been playing Magic for a considerable amount of time, like that. How do I say this? You know that when you were new and you sat down to play Commander for the first time, and like you're trying to play on your turn at the same time, you're trying to watch what everyone else is doing, and you have the experience of knowing that it feels like it's a lot of information. And when you're playing with a new player, like when new players play, you can tell they're new because their turns take like 5 minutes, and then all they do is they cast like one spell, So I think like when you're playing with new players, you really want to like put them in a place where the decision's kind of already made for them. I tell them this is how the deck plays, this is what you want to do, so that when they take their turn, they're like, okay, this is the based on what this person told me, this is the next logical thing that I'm gonna do to help me to win the game. Because like a new player, like if you're gonna play Uno, or a person can play Uno and put a card on the table, like just match the color, match the number. It's very straightforward, very simple, and you understand that by matching the color and getting rid of cards out of your hand, you're gonna win the game. But in Magic, when you're playing for the first time, it doesn't feel as intuitive to know like I do this right here, this is what's gonna cause me to win the game. So I feel like when you play Voltron, it's like this is your commander. If you deal 21 points of damage to somebody, you knock them out of the game. If you do that to enough people, you're just gonna win, you know? So I feel like when you keep it very structured like that, it makes the experience a lot more straightforward for them. So they're not taking 10-minute turns. They just know exactly what they're doing. And sometimes you can even like look at their hand while they're playing and just recommend plays. And, what you'll notice is like, depending on the way that you explain things to them, like, let's say they have, hey, I'm going to cast this removal spell on your commander, like, let me see the cards in your hand. And then I look at them, I see what they have. And then instead of me telling them, like, you're going to want to play this, I'll ask them, like, there's a card in your hand right now that's going to help to keep your commander alive. Which one is it? you know, so that I'm constantly asking questions instead of like telling them what to do. I'm asking them what they should do. And what I noticed is like after a turn, I mean, it's something is people are smart, man. After a turn or two, they'll just be like, no, 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 I got it. Don't worry about it. You know, they'll just tell they'll and then I'll start to like wean off a little bit. And then as you start to like let them just kind of play and flow, then it starts to move. You know, you don't destroy their commander, let them play, they start to get confidence. And that'll be like maybe like the first two at max, like 3 games that they play, you treat them like that. And then that's when you start to like, really play, start to make the game a little bit more difficult because they understand now. And just to have fun, you know. But this is just me. Like I'm the kind of person where when other people are playing against me, like I have just as much fun watching somebody else win than I do when I win myself. Like I played a game of Warhammer the other day and I literally was just like, yeah, you win. That was fun. And I make plays on purpose that's like not optimal just so that the other person can be like, yeah, like everything that I painted in that build, like, and then they walk around like they're feeling like really good, like their mood changes. And that makes me happy, you know? So I feel like, I don't know, I feel like if you spent the time to like, how do you say, like think that way when you play games and see how positive people feel sometimes when they're playing, you would then gain that enjoyment. But it just takes you have to learn how to like sacrifice yourself a little bit in those moments so that other people can experience that enjoyment. But then, if they start to get a little cocky, that's when you pull out the mono blue counterspell tribal deck and you're like, all right, well, now play. And then you teach them a lesson on how to like, be a bit more be a bit more humble inside the game. So I feel like when we're talking about teaching new players, it's just things just have to happen. What's up, Ricky? I feel like you just got to let the new player feel success because then I'll tell you what, man, the more success somebody feels, the more likely they are to spend money on the game. And as weird as it sounds, that's kind of like what you want to do. You want to get people so involved or to have so much fun that they look at their money and they're like, this person, like I'll build somebody a commander deck. I always do that. And then like they look at their money and they see this card, like, oh, that card looks really awesome. And then they just spend their money on it. And then once they spend money on cards, like that's it. Like they're hooked on the game. And then you've accomplished your mission. But if you go into like playing like a 3-color deck, and look, I get comments sometimes. You just started this year, Ricky, that's amazing. That's a lot of fun, man. I love Magic. But I feel like I get some comments sometimes that people are like, when I first started playing the game, I played with a deck that was 3 or 4 colors, and it taught me everything I needed to know. And it was like it was really in depth, and I'm happy that I learned as much as possible because it made me a better player faster. And I'm like, that's great. I think that that would what that would tell me? That would tell me that your motivation to learn how to play the game was very high. Like you know that when you learn something, learning actually triggers the same area in your brain that your body perceives pain. So like, sup, Lazy King, sup, W, or like, let me say, something. Oh, amazing. Oh, so you're new King. Wow. And that how I get to understand that lots of people will play against 3 different decks. This is play out there. Yeah, how I get them to understand oh, you're asking me a question. How do I get them to understand that lots of people will play against them very differently than I have, which is let them play out their deck. Yeah, I think you tell them that. Like I would just tell them that because recently they're not having so much fun playing so much strong decks at random tables. Yeah, I think it's just like I'm sure they're not gonna have as much fun, but that's like on you. Like that's like the other day I was talking about like expropriate. Like just because you have expropriate in your hand doesn't mean you have to play it. And when you talk about like a strong deck, are you like impeding? Like, are you playing like stacks and not allowing them to play the game? There's ways to like do things, and it's up to you to decide whether you want to be sensitive to it. Like some people also of their mindset or like people need to go through that so they learn how to counter it so they become better players. So that's completely up to you. Like their enjoyment is not completely dependent upon you, but you can definitely play a big part in how they enjoy the game because you just know a lot more, you know. But I think like what I do is like when they're playing against people that are not me, I want people that are not me to just as weird as it sounds, I want people that are not me teaching new players to destroy the new players. Like I want to be the one that teaches them how to play, but I don't want to be the one that crushes their spirit. Because I like when we go out and play Magic, like they're gonna see me every single time. Like I want them to when they associate Magic with me, they associate Magic with fun and not with just like, oh, like there's people in my play group that like when I hear that they're gonna go out to play Magic with us, like I have to bring there's like a certain set of decks I have to bring in order for me to play. I don't know if you guys have the same experience, but like it's it's definitely there's always just like that person. And it's nothing this is what it is for them. Let me read this. Yeah, I've been trying to tell them, but I fear that my explanation. One second. I'm trying to tell them, but I fear that my explanations are driving them towards playing like hard stacks. Yeah, because currently they're asking me to help them. You must be playing really crazy decks if they're trying to learn how to play stacks already. And so that's probably not a great idea. I mean, it's whose right is it to decide what a great idea is or what a good idea is? If they want to do that, that means that they probably have a really high drive to win. Maybe it's not good for you because then you're gonna play against like all these stacks decks and probably not have as much fun. But like if I heard that, I would feel a little bit more optimistic about it because then it's like, oh, like they're really enjoying, like they're really trying to want to win right now. But it's like that's I feel like you did a really good job teaching them the game if they're wanting to build stacks already. That means like people have probably been just really putting it on them inside the game, and they're like, "Nah, I want to do it to somebody else now." So I don't know, W. To me, it sounds like you're doing an amazing job. Yeah, multiple decks when you have the money for that, Ricky. I feel like that's something. Yeah, and dude, dude. They're they want to build stacks decks not just so they can play against you, is so that they can win against random players. And that's all you can ask for. I feel like you taught them perfectly. That's like best case scenario with what I'm hearing at least. Because let me tell you, bro, like I played against some people where I build them commander deck and do everything that I'm teaching everyone talking about, and they don't play the game. Some people like what I was talking about earlier, some people have very low amounts of motivation to want to play the game. And what I notice is like the more complicated it is for those people, they can't even gain the attention span to pay attention to get through an entire game. I sometimes you'd have to break it down so simple that like they feel like they want to become a part of it. I want to have at least just two more for variety. Which ones are you gonna build? I got like I have way too many commander decks, you know? It's a lot of fun. Everything about this game is just great, dude. That Warhammer, I feel like Warhammer is really good too. A lot of fun. Oh man. So I got about 15 minutes on the stream. We're gonna go till 20 minutes. So I do 20 minutes of cardio over here at the gym. I'm gonna get in the habit of doing these live streams just so that it makes me motivated to want to do my cardio and do what you guys are asking me to do. Outside of here, I think I'm gonna be streaming on Twitch at some point soon. Just building commander decks, playing games against you guys, doing like just doing fun things. I don't know. I feel like I don't really know what's gonna happen, but I'll just do whatever you guys think is fun. When do you think pre-con started getting really good? Before decks, as pre-cons are. I feel like the turning point was. I can tell you when I thought pre-cons are really bad. You know, and these weren't actually that bad, but I feel like because I feel like every precon has like is a bit of I'm gonna say this, but you're gonna be like, wow, like these cards, nah, bro, you got it, W. You got it, bro. Keep teaching more people just like that, bro. Thank you for liking the video. Um, I see that. But I feel like when precons were weak, and then when I say weak, I don't mean like these commanders are bad. I just mean like the decks they were building were unfocused. And I feel like it was when when Lord Windgrace came out, Saheeli was out, the Planeswalker decks. There was also Aminatu the first time. I feel like those decks were super, not like super unfocused, like unplayably unfocused. But I feel like if you put those commander decks against the commander decks that are out right now, I feel like the commander decks out right now would waste those decks, you know? So and the way commander decks are releasing right now, bro, like it's actually I feel like commander, the power level has increased by a lot since we all started playing, bro. Commander has gotten so strong, and especially because I think that people right now are a lot more feel a lot more comfortable like printing proxy because people are a lot more just like vocal about that stuff now that like I can go to a store and like people are just what would be like, wow, that person just cast this iconic rift is just like, oh, he cast this iconic rift. It's just like the things that used to feel like really powerful and like unique and like special. Like, wow, oh my god, it was a Ristic study. It's not like, oh, that guy's a Ristic study. It's just like you just kind of get used to that the power level of the game. It's a lot of fun. Not saying it's a I think it's a good thing. I feel like when you play like that, it makes the game good. But like when I build decks, I try not to add too many of those cards inside one deck. I like to just keep the deck as like simple, and it's almost like trying to play Magic on hard mode. But I feel like when I play the game and I'm playing like a level 2 deck, but you're just so aware about how to pilot it that you can beat level 4 decks. Maybe not 5, but you could beat level 4 decks. And I feel like a win like that feels like 5 wins. And I'm not so concerned so much about losing anymore. I just like seeing all the interactions and laughing with people. Proxies are good, but if you make bad habits of deck building, yeah. Yeah, because you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna print out 5 copies of Ristic Study now. Every deck that I own that has blue has a Ristic Study inside of it. Shortest guy in the world. Bro, my left hip flexor right now is hurting me. It's actually like kind of painful right now. I don't know why. It's kind of threw off my chain of thought. Been walking so much. Like, "Yeah, I gotta strengthen this muscle." I don't know how many calories do you guys think I burned so far? I feel like I need to bring up the thing actually. My heart rate is kind of low. 2.3 speed, incline is 5. Heart rate is at 108 right now. Mendicant Orc for life. You already know, bro. Mendicant Floor Commander is super hard to keep up with. Yeah, because isn't that the one that makes copies of everything? I'm pretty happy. I was broke. I didn't imagine I have access to staples, give me creative options. Yeah, dude. You do you. Yeah, man. Magic is just super fun. I feel like that's what's so good about the game that like I feel like your grandma should be playing Commander, dude. Like everybody should be playing Commander, bro. It's such like a fun game, dude. It's just super good for everybody. Makes people feel confident. Makes people learn like how to like it gives people like a common thing to talk about. Like if you none of you guys have ever gone to like a Magic Con before, I highly recommend that you guys go to Magic Cons. It's just like it's like a Magic the Gathering I don't know how you say it, like fiesta, like a palooza. Like everybody is in such a good mood. There's so many things happening. There's so many vendors. You find cards for cheap, guys. I immediately there's a store called Laughing Dragon, and they always go to Magic Cons and they sell like Chinese and Japanese copies of cards. And I just like run over to the area and spend like $30, and I get like three copies. Not, I'm exaggerating, but I can get like Kozilek. I can get like just really intensely powerful cards. Obviously they're like Japanese and stuff, but like, I still get those cards. And I don't ordinarily have access to them without without doing that. Never played it. It's fun fan. Well, I think Final Fantasy is unique, dude. Like, bro, like I have the word Final Fantasy 8 tattooed on my arm, bro. I feel like people are obsessed with Final Fantasy, like especially me. So I feel like, you know, Final Fantasy is in a place where I don't know if Universes Beyond's ever gonna do this well ever again. I mean, Avatar is gonna be kind of crazy, but I'm not sure if Avatar has the same pull that Final Fantasy does. I feel like Final Fantasy is like that's like next level, dude. You guys ever hear the story about Final Fantasy and why it's called Final Fantasy? I learned about that a long time ago. They said like this company, like Squaresoft, when they were making video games, that they were making games and they were selling horribly. Like nobody wanted to play them, and then Nintendo was like, or whoever was the publisher was like, look, you guys are gonna publish this next game, and this game doesn't sell. Like we're not gonna be supporting you guys anymore. You guys aren't making games anymore. And then that's why they literally called it Final Fantasy. And dude, like, look what it's turned into, bro. We all, I got a tattooed on my arm, bro. It's such a good game. It's their Hail Mary. Yeah, dude, literally, bro. They're just like, we're going all in, bro. It's so funny how they call it Final Fantasy too. It's so like poetic to me, at least. Like, they went all in and it worked out, bro. I really like Final Fantasy 8. I feel like the music inside Final Fantasy 8 is just so good, dude. Like it's just so iconic. Like the cutscenes for the Guardian Forces, Aeons or whatever the summons are so like epic. Like broke my mind when I was a kid watching that, dude. I thought it was so cool. Yo, did you ever see there's a summon in Final Fantasy 8 called, I think they're called Brothers, and it's like two bull dudes, like one tall one and like one short one. And then they basically take yeah, all those games are great, bro. They literally like take the ground, rip the ground, throw the ground in the air, and then he like takes his brother, the big one takes a little one, and then throws him in the air at like 100 miles an hour and just smashes into the rock. Like, what am I even looking at right now? This is insane. It's so funny, dude. Those summons are just like when I was a kid, I was watching that. I'll never forget the first time I saw that, bro. I was like, "What is happening, dude? It's so crazy. It's so fun, dude. I would love to play Final Fantasy on stream and play. I actually haven't beaten Final Fantasy 8. I only ever got to the part where you get like the Ragnarok, like the red spaceship, and then you go to the place where you fight. I think Raijin and Fuji or something like that. Like these two people. That's the last thing I ever did in that game. But I would love to play those games on stream, bro. It'd be super fun. I don't know what games do you guys play? Dude, Diablos is sick, bro. Oh my god, Kingdom Hearts. A Kingdom Hearts set might do better than will definitely do better than Final Fantasy. If you get all the Disney characters inside there, yeah. The Heartless as a token, Heartless tokens. Come on, dude, that'd be so cool. You think they would just turn them into armies? Nah. Heartless tokens are ones with menace. That'd be so cool, dude. That'd be so cool. Or like, I don't know, I can't think of cool stuff. Those games are so good. And then, dude, now that they're making Starcrafts or Starships, Magic the Gathering card, you can have like different gummy ships from Kingdom Hearts as like commanders now, bro. Come on, dude, that'd be so tough. I can hear the music of flying the spaceship in my brain, dude. It's so good, dude. Dark Soul. Oh, dude. Dark Souls would be insane, bro. And then it would be cool to see, like, how they do like the various knights for like the knight of the great sword, the knight of this sword. That'd be so cool if that would be like I don't know how you say it, like there's a combustible gear Hulk, torrential gear Hulk, this gear there's a gear Hulk for each color. Let's do it like that, you know? Something like that would be cool. I think it'd be fun. Just anything video game related, man. I feel like would be super cool. You know what? I mean, think what I would like to see. I feel like what would be a great thing for Magic? Um, what would be a great Magic the Gathering set? I feel like hmm, I almost said SpongeBob, but SpongeBob already exists. The Witcher? Ooh. Yo, Geralt, though Siri would be dude, Siri would have an ability where you could pay mana and then she would just like phase out and just turn green. Call it like green move. I don't even know. You know what I'm talking about? How Siri has like that green stuff. Sup, Dark Horses? Thank you, bro. Pacific Rim? That's basically Gundam Wing, dude. Gundam Wing would be dude, Gundam Wing would be sick. Gundam Wing would be sick, dude. It'd basically be Shurikais, like a million Shurikais. It'd be so awesome. Lord of the Rings. Yeah, it definitely went Lord of the Rings. Yo, me and my cousin drove down to Baltimore at the Magic Con to play when Lord of the Rings released. And then like we played in this like two-player commander tournament, like 2v2. And yo, we lost to somebody, dude. We lost to two guys that were dressed up like Frodo and Bilbo Baggins, dude. And my cousin, we lost the game, and we played so bad. Like we totally could have won if we just like were focused, but we lost. My cousin was so mad that we lost, and I was like, "Yo, like it's good, it's okay, we lost." And he's like, "No, it's not." And I'm like, "Dude, chill. Like, why are you so mad?" He's like, "You telling me that we drove all the way down to Baltimore to lose to Frodo and Bilbo Baggins?" Like he was cursing. Dude, he was so mad, bro. I was like, when you put it that way, I could see why. I can see why you could be mad. We freaking lost to Frodo. Like literally the big old feet and everything, dude. I was like, my God, dude. I get it. Now I'm kind of mad too. It was kind of funny, dude. Oh man. But that's Magic, dude. Yes, Magic is the only game in the world where you can drive 4 hours to lose to Frodo and Bilbo Baggins. Oh man. Dude, and I was playing Crick, son of Yawgmoth, and he was playing the 2 mana Simic commander that generates a million mana, goes infinite like nothing. Yeah, we totally we messed that one up bad. We are not good at the game. Ward food token was wild when I first read it. Yeah. Well, I'm thinking like, what would be another? What would be really cool? Metal Gear Solid as a Magic the Gathering set. Maybe just for me, but I feel like Metal Gear Solid would be so sick. That'd be super like the Metal Gears, Metal Gear Ray as like a vehicle or something. Metal Gear Rex. Like, Gray Fox would be so sick, dude. Like he'd be so cool. Snake would be awesome. Liquid Snake would be cool. And then you can basically make like a lot of the iconic bosses. The Murph are watching. What do you mean? Hopefully. It'd be hopefully more for you're watching people are watching. I feel like I don't know. I don't really play Merfolk really. I don't have anything to. Sup, Graham? Hey, damn! Look at you with the fiance. Congratulations about to get married. That's fun, dude. Congratulations, man. Hopefully, I can say the same thing at some point, but it's whenever the universe allows it. But yeah, World of Warcraft would definitely be cool. But Merfolk, like if I think about Merfolk, I don't know. I haven't really played them or played against them really. Like in my play group, like nobody really plays Merfolk, so I know that they can be good. I'm assuming when you play any color. Thank you for liking the video. When you play any color that has blue in it and you have counter spells, it's automatically going to be good. I did buy that one Merfolk precon a while back, and I played a game and it did really well. So I don't have anything bad to say about Merfolk or anything really. They're just vampires, fish of the sea, chicken of the sea. I mean, oh, oh man. All right, guys, we burned 164 calories so far. Oh, just 3 likes on the video. Thank you for liking the video. I just saw that. But yeah, guys, I would not mind streaming when I'm not walking on the treadmill, but I don't know. I just got to build up the motivation to stream on Twitch one of these days and just go live. I try to go. Thank you for liking the video. I saw that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're getting. How about we get to 200 and then we'll call it? Because I'm at 167 right now, and I'm getting tired. My leg is actually hurting. But like, but thank you for liking the video. But yeah, I don't know. I just, I don't know if you guys can understand. Like, I feel like I think have like I don't know. I feel like I kind of have ADHD, but like not really. But I think I do. I'm like high functioning, I guess. But like when I think about doing something, like if I don't know exactly what I'm doing, like I really don't feel like motivated or not have. I won't say motivated. I don't feel like the will to want to do it. Like I wouldn't go work out at the gym if I didn't know to like, all right, this is exactly what I'm doing inside the gym. So I feel like when I think about streaming at home, like I just don't know what I would do on stream. I'd just be sitting there. But when I stream on YouTube, bro, I feel like YouTube is just not a good place for streaming. Like I feel like here is cool because like you guys can just swap through things pretty quickly and I feel like it's really simple. But like when I'm sitting like at a computer or whatever and like it's not like when the video's not like this, if it's like long ways like that, I feel like it's just much better to like watch a created video than it is to watch a live stream on YouTube. Especially when you have like you watch this, you look at it on the right side or you scroll down, all the other videos appear. At least for me, like I'm much more likely to just click another video and watch another video. But on Twitch, like I feel like when people are streaming on Twitch, like it's just streaming on Twitch. So people are much more like invested to just chill in one spot. So I think even though I got like 15K, subscribers on here, I feel like I gotta do the same thing on Twitch at some point and just build that audience. Good head on my shoulders? Nah, dude, I don't have a good head on my shoulders at all, bro. I used to be like mega dumb. But like, you know what though? I feel like the one thing that my parents always taught me was to, like, how to respect people. Like when you're very respectful for people and like you just treat people like humans, regardless of who they are, like people go out of their way to do nice things for you. So that when I would act like a dumb butt when I was growing up, like people just had patience for me. They're like, oh, like that's Kevin, like he'll he'll get over that. And I feel like that's part of the reason why I'm a coach right now because so many people had just had like patience for me while I was growing up that like I feel like it's my duty to offer the same thing to people. Yeah, exactly. Like just be respectful to people. I try not to like, you know, I'm just a human. I do all this stuff working out over here, like just to show you guys that you can do it because like, you know, there's no difference between me and you or anybody else. Everybody is capable of doing the same thing inside the gym and same thing inside magic. It's we are all human. Oh man. Whew. We're at 185 calories built so far. I'm thinking about building grass. What's that one? For the same thing, it's so hard to even stay in stream sometimes because my brain would rather know the length. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? But I feel like on Twitch, like when I'm on Twitch, I turn on Twitch to have something playing in the background. I'm not like totally viewed on it. I feel like when I'm on YouTube, I want to be very consumed into something. I don't want to like put something on that I'm not gonna pay attention to. But I feel like streaming is something where like I can turn on and just like paint or like build commander decks or create videos and just have it playing in the background, just listen to the streamer talk. And I feel like that's, at least for me, that's what Twitch is for me. What do they call it? Lurking. That's just what I do. What I feel like. I don't know. Guys, who's your favorite streamers? Do you guys watch streams or what? I have some that are like really great. You guys gotta explain to me? I don't even know what Graz is. Are you talking about are you talking about like the bee? Graz? Graz, Juggernaut, all the creatures become base power. Wow, that sounds like an insane commander, actually. Is that new? Can't be blocked by walls. Wow, that's look. And you said it's colorless. It's just an artifact deck. That sounds kind of insane, actually. Because if there's blue in that, you can turn all creatures into walls, and then all of a sudden, like, or even black, you can play the card conspiracy and just. Actually, no, I think those only affect your creatures. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean that sounds. Dude, whenever I don't know what to do and I build a deck, I always go on EDH rec. I just go EDH rec, see what other people are doing. Especially for new players, you find all the 25-cent cards over there. Just get a whole bunch of them. Deck just plays a lot better. We're at 198. I'll show you guys. Ugh. We got almost a mile and a half, 200 calories. Not bad. 5 incline, 2 speed. We're almost done. I'm feeling this right now. My favorite color combination, like it would be blue, black, and red Grixis. That's why I got the Rakdos symbol here and then the Demir symbol here because that all adds up to Grixis. That's my favorite way to play Magic. To me, it's just like the right combination of like counters, discard, and aggression. Like I'm trying to win the game fast. I'm gonna do it safely because I can counter you if you try to stop me. And then if I need to see what you have inside your hand, I can. To me, that's really like when I really want to win or like play like how I have fun. And it's funny because I don't have a lot of Grixis decks, even though it's my favorite, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah, dude, Nekusar is just dude, Nekusar just enters the battlefield. You just win on the spot sometimes. It's just super good. But, you know, it's what it is. I feel like if I had a color combination that had the most of, it probably I don't know actually. I haven't looked at my commanders like that to know. Yo, what's good? It's good sights. Hope you're having a good day. You said Rakdos or Demir? I say both, bro. Rakdos, Demir, it's all three colors. You know what's my favorite commander deck though is Chainer. I think Chainer Nightmare Adept. And then I just play the Spectre Tribal and just force discard. Thanks, bro. I love your content too, man. I think it's like no Diddy. I feel like the the Spectre Tribal is just super fun because people never see it coming. They're just like all creatures that deal damage and force discard. All of a sudden they have haste and deal damage, dude. I feel like it's just I just like playing decks to get a rise out of people at the table. Like they're like, "What is happening right now?" And I'm like, "Yeah, possessed portal." If you guys ever played possessed portal, guys, look up possessed portal. The card. It's like 8 mana and like doesn't let any. This is what I do. This is how I play. You play possessed portal and then something like Marilyn of the Morn song, and then like opposition agent. That's magic, bro. If you go on the channel, my channel, you'll find a video called Chainer. It's like Grim Reaper Tribal or Spectre Tribal or something, and that'll be the deck. I love that commander deck. It's so much fun, dude. And then people end up destroying all of your the Grim Reapers or the Specters on the board, and then you're like, all right, I'm gonna do Rise of the Dark Realms. You get like 8 Specters back on the battlefield, and because Chainer enters, it gives all of them haste. So basically, like you Rise of the Dark Realms, you get 8 creatures, they attack immediately, and then their opponents have to discard like 8 cards. So Rise of the Dark Realms just turned into like I win on the spot because nobody can play the game anymore. You know, it's super good. Specters don't really have like a lot of power, so like it kind of slows the winningness of it. But when they don't have cards in their hand, it kind of doesn't matter. Or they're top decking, it kind of doesn't matter. Dude, it's super fun, man. It is in the name. You're right, dude. The Grim Reapers are just great. I wear yeah, Grim Reapers on my shirt, bro. It's all about that life, dude. It's fun. All right, guys, we're at 222 calories burned. I'm gonna bring this down a little bit just so I can cool down. I'm gonna cool down for a couple minutes, and then I gotta go home to eat. I gotta feed my dog and do stuff. I'm gonna be streaming on Twitch at some point in my life. So on Twitch, it would be Coach underscore Gonzalez, and then I won't be walking on a treadmill. I got some videos and stuff to upload at some point in the future too, and I'm gonna go from there. Keep everything nice and easy. Yeah. So, but tonight though, I gotta watch the NBA Finals, the Game 7. I'm probably gonna eat potato chips and stuff. So that'll be a good time. All right, guys. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Okay. Um, yeah. Thanks for being here. I'm gonna go, guys. I gotta eat food. I'm starving. Peace.